I'm Abigail Osry.
And I'm Emily Osry. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 5 of El Camino Reality.
This week we talk about recent changes in senior events, tell you how students, coaches, and teachers have been riding out this heat wave, cover Trevor McClure's performance on the quad,
and of course, toss it over to Josh Schaefer for this week's sports wrap-up. Due to recent problems with construction and other issues, several senior events are undergoing changes.
and some seniors aren't thrilled about it.
Manisha Kaur, Jared Stein, Abby, and I covered the story.
In schools everywhere, students look forward to their senior year. With so many senior events, who wouldn't be excited? However, with the new year also comes new changes, and construction on campus has prompted many changes to senior events. But the reasoning for these adjustments isn't just about facilities issues. Popular events such as Lip Sync and Mr. El Camino are changing, and there are even more rumors that Grad Night has been altered as well.
Grad Night hasn't changed, okay? That was another rumor, okay? Everything is still the same.
We used to have Mr. El Camino, but now it's called The Bachelor, and the only difference, I guess, this year is that it has to be more appropriate, so they don't have the bathing suit portion of the competition, but everything else, to my knowledge, is going to be the same.
The feeling is that Mr. El Camino was sort of explicit. There was too much nudity there, some crazy movements that the kids were doing. So we want to focus more on their talent rather than them doing that kind of stuff.
Lip Sync doesn't have burns anymore because it's considered school-endorsed bullying.
There was a general feeling from adults, especially in campus, that the burns, the so-called burns, were just too much. There's no bullying at school, okay? But that event sort of promoted bullying.
Although the changes are generally beneficial, some students have mixed feelings about the altered events.
I heard that lip sync, we don't have any burns anymore, which is upsetting, but I know that it's for a good reason. But even then, we were all so used to having it, and we were all so excited about it. So it's just very disappointing that now that it's our year, we don't have it anymore.
Well, it's kind of disappointing because being a freshman, you look forward to all the events, that you get to do. So it's disappointing, but at the same time, it's like you can't really do anything about it. We've already tried, so.
With the recent success of the Class of 2016 Senior Picnic, there is definitely a positive outlook for upcoming events. For El Camino Reality, this is Angel Arouse.
With California suffering one of its hottest years once again, students are finding it hard to keep cool. Bethany Ramirez and Yanira Montoya spoke to PE teachers, students, and others about how they're riding the heat wave.
This year, LA has been as hot as can be. Students and faculty are trying to keep cool by drinking a lot of water, but still that isn't enough.
We still dress each day, so that part of it is not canceled. But for the sports teams and the after-school sports, it comes down from the city section whether they cancel activities and also the after-school practices.
For me, to stay cool in the heat, I just usually go in the shade and drink a lot of water and try to stay away from the sun.
So there is a 96-degree heat index to where we would curbside our classes, which means they can sit in the shade and play voluntarily. As far as cardiovascular running, in my classes, I never run them when it's over 90 degrees heat index anyway.
It affected me one time because I actually dehydrated and passed out. I stayed cool and just drank a lot of water, like I said.
Work related, I think kids tend to just get aggravated and they're uncomfortable in the heat, and so they just want to go home and be in a cool environment.
In practice, it affects us because we usually don't practice if it gets over about like 100 degrees or something. So we'll usually just stay in a cool room and just drink water and just go over like plays and stuff like that. But we won't do any physical activities.
Coaching football during the summer, you're always out in the heat, so I've learned how to deal with it.
Before it cools down, temperatures begin to rise. Stay fresh, Conquistadors. For El Camino Reality, this is Bethany Ramirez.
Elko alumnus Trevor McClure performed the quad last Friday.
McKenna Thurber, Angela Rouse, and Candy Esterkin spoke to him and covered the event.
Many students attending El Camino have aspirations of making it in the entertainment business. Alumni Trevor McClure is one of the very few people who have been persistent in following their dreams. Anything else?
Man, I grew up around music. My dad's a musician, and it was always in me. I grew up playing pots and pans and stuff like that, you know. I call it new era, so it's like grunge and hip-hop, some new metal in there, but then I also borrow a lot of elements from all the eras, like the 70s. The last song I'm going to do today has a very funk 70s, little uptown funk.
Friday, September 18th, McClure performed a set of all original songs that he recorded in his bedroom.
We give it everything, all we got, all we need is a chance to tear the dance floor up. I'm just a little bit out of touch when I don't let go. Oh, oh no. But come on everybody, come on and get down. Come on everybody, come on and get down.
Once he decided to go solo, he began to write, produce, play, and record all of his own music.
So I'm about to put an album out in the next month or so. I pretty much wrote, produced, recorded, and performed everything on it in my bedroom.
For El Camino Reality, this is McKenna Thurber.
And now let's toss it over to Josh Schaefer for this week's sports wrap-up.
Thanks, Emily. The ECR girls varsity volleyball team began their season with an intense matchup at Carson on Wednesday, September 16th. ECR dropped the first two sets, but survived until the fifth and final set, thanks to 25-19 and 25-20 victories in the third and fourth sets. The Conquistadors fell to the Colts in the fifth set by a final score of 15-8, resulting in a game final score of 3-2. Kayla Jacks had 18 kills, Trinity Goodman had 20 kills, Celine Peruncajas had 8 kills and 4 blocks, and Izzy Barbera had 40 blocks. This week they'll travel to Chaminade High School on Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Chaminade is about 5 minutes from El Camino Real, so come out and support the team as they take on the Eagles. Once again, that's Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. For more information about the Carson and Chaminade matches, have a listen to our 10-minute ECR Sports podcast, The Dime Package, on YouTube and ecrjournalism.com. Don't forget to follow our ECR Live Twitter account for news and updates about when our latest Conquistador Sports broadcasts will be. For more information, predictions, and previews, check out The Dime Package on ecrjournalism.com. Check out our feature page on CIF Los Angeles City Section's website, which consists of articles and videos all about Conquistador athletics. That page is at cif-la.org under the Student Creativity tab on the far right. The ECR boys water polo team defeated league rival Taft on Friday by a score of 11-8. Senior Max Perlin led the Conquistadors with 5 goals and 4 steals in the victory over the Toreadors. On Friday, September 18th, the El Camino Real JV and varsity football teams traveled to Verdugo Hills High School in Tujunga, California for matchups against the Dons for the second consecutive year. The ECR JV team led off the day with a huge shootout victory over the Dons, and the varsity team followed up with a 35-7 victory over the Dons. Touchdowns began for ECR early on when a punt was blocked by Sam Tayo and returned by senior Kia Hagigi all the way for a Conquistador touchdown. Keyshawn Berry had a 91-yard touchdown run for the Conquistadors with 150 total yards offensively. For El Camino Reality, I'm Josh Schaefer.
From all of us on the crew of El Camino Reality, stay sharp, Conquistadors. Don't forget to tell your friends to check us out on YouTube or at ecrjournalism.com.